Poker Stories is an audio series that features casual interviews with some of the game's best players and personalities. Each episode highlights a well-known figure in the poker world and dives deep into their favorite tales, both on and off the feld.
Hello and welcome to Poker Stories, a podcast brought to you by Card Player, the Poker Authority, and hosted by me, Julio Rodriguez. We've got a big one today. This is episode number 42, featuring the 2003 World Series of Poker main event champion, Chris Moneymaker. For many of you listening right now, Chris may be part of the reason why you even play poker. By now, everyone knows the story. An everyday amateur, an accountant from Tennessee, beats Ivey and Farha to win poker's biggest tournament and $2.5 million. Even better, he won his way into that tournament in an online satellite for just $39. Or was it $86? It was $86, which coincidentally is the buy-in for the recently announced Moneymaker PSPC Tour, which will run at casinos in the US from coast to coast for the rest of this year, awarding $30,000 platinum passes into the $25K buy-in, $8 million guaranteed, $1 million added to first place PokerStars Players Championship next January at the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas. You'll hear more about the tour from Chris during the interview, but the basic gist is that PokerStars is partnering up with these casinos to host $86 tournaments across the country, and they're adding a $30K package to each stop for the winner. It's just added on, not taken out of the prize pool. So be sure to look out for that at a card room near you. That's enough intro, right? Let's get to the poker stories. One note about this episode: we recorded it in an empty room down at the Rio that eventually filled up. And late in the podcast, we had an interesting encounter with someone on the rail. We thought about cutting it out, but ultimately we decided to leave it in just to give you all a taste of what Chris experiences when he's out there traveling the circuit. Anyway, here it is, my conversation with Chris, the Moneymaker. So, I guess congratulations are in order, because just this morning I got an email saying you were nominated again for the Poker Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, I got that email yesterday. Thanks.
You got a little bit of a preview before it came out?
I guess. I don't know. We got the whole, you and basically everybody that didn't get in last time got nominated. So, congratulations.
Couple of new people. I think John Hennigan and David O were the new ones. What do you feel about your chances this year? Is this the year that Chris Moneymaker gets in?
No, I don't think so. I just think that the panel who's judging,
which includes me, by the way.
Then no, there's no way.
No, Card Player gets a vote. We can't do much with it. Yeah.
I think if I get into the Poker Hall of Fame, it's going to be 20 years down the road. It's going to be, where time's passed. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
Really? Why do you think that is? You don't think people will show appreciation for the name and what it did?
I don't. I mean, Daniel put out a piece back when I was first up for it, basically, listing the qualifications for the Poker Hall of Fame, and I didn't fit most of the criteria, especially in his eyes. And he actually came up to me. He's like, "Hope you weren't upset about the piece." I'm like, "Man, I could care less." The Poker Hall of Fame has zero bearing. Like Mike Manisal, I mean, obviously he wants to be in the Poker Hall of Fame. That's like. He was, complaining about it and, got on Twitter and was like, hey, vote for me, yada, yada, where I'm the exact opposite. That's, has zero bearing on my life whatsoever. I don't see in any realm of my life where that's going to be relative to, anything that I do.
Well, I disagree that it'll be 20 years down the line, but I will give you this story. Tom McAvoy said that he wanted it more than anything in the world, wanted it real bad for years. I think he was nominated 4 or 5 years in a row. And it was the year that he said, screw it, I don't care, I'm not even going to campaign. That's the year he got in. So who knows?
Well, I'm never going to campaign. If I ever campaign, then I'll be shocked. It's just, again, it's not something, it's weird because, everybody has different motivations. And that's just never been one of my motivations. Something, I mean, it's always nice to be respected by your peers, or
yeah, go ahead. Don't worry about that.
yeah, be respected by your peers and all that stuff. But at the same time, I mean, it's a lot of this stuff is subjective, and I know what I've done, and I know what my history in poker is. I just want to try to be the best ambassador I can, and do my job the best I can. If I get something, a reward for that later, or some kind of
a little chip cart coming in here.
Yeah,
we are recording at the Rio, so if you do any background noises or chip clacking, that's the reason why.
Yeah, there you go.
So
at the end of the day,
speaking of being an ambassador and stuff like that, you have some big news to share.
I do. One of the things that I had heard from players is, this PokerStars Championship that we have coming up in January is a huge deal, and we're giving
$25K buy-in,
$25K buy-in,
$1 million added to first.
So many seats given away.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, Americans just don't have as many opportunities to get these seats.
Right, because PokerStars is giving them away on a lot of the tour stops.
A lot of the tour stops,
elsewhere.
And, online. And so a lot of Americans are like, yeah, hey, we'd love to have some opportunities to get these seats. And so PokerStars came up with this awesome idea to have a Moneymaker PSPC Tour. And I'm just super excited about it. We're going to go across the U.S.
You get your own tour.
I get my own tour. Yeah, $86 buy-in, which is what what my buy-in was for the main event.
That's right, not $39.
Not $39.
As was originally reported.
Well, by me, I thought it was $39. I thought it was $39 for probably about 12 years. That's, I mean, I wrote a freaking book, $39 to $2.5 million. So. Anyways, so it's going to be an $86 buy-in. We're going to be going across the country to anywhere between 9 to 12 casinos. We're going to start out in August out in Stones, out in Sacramento. And again, it's going to be an $86 buy-in, and there's going to be a Platinum Pass, which is a $30K package, the $25,000 buy-in plus travel down to the Bahamas at every single stop. So that's going to be added on to the prize pool.
To the winner.
To the winner.
So for $86... you play your normal tournament. Mm-hmm. The prize pool is whatever it is, but PokerStars is adding $25,000 in buy-in plus $5K in airfare and hotel on top of it to the winner.
That's right.
That's going to be the prize pool in a lot of cases, $25K. Now PokerStars is putting $30K on top of it.
When you're doing an $86 tournament, first of all, $30K is going to be a lot bigger than the normal prize pool.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a huge benefit. And the one thing we're going to do is, obviously whoever wins that event is going to be really thrilled. It's a great opportunity. So to make other people happy that maybe don't win that is we're going to take in most stops. Every stop's going to be a little bit different, but the ones that I've talked to, we're going to take that 86, all the tournament money, and we're going to start paying at second place and go back. So if you get second place, while you're not going to get the pass, you're still going to walk away with a nice little chunk of change. It's going to be, you're going to be happy. And obviously, if you win, then you got a great trip coming up in November.
I can't even imagine that somebody could be turning $86 into several million when all is said and done.
Well, that's the ultimate plan. I mean, the one good thing is once you win this seat, you're going to get on the PokerStars Discord group, which is an online chat group. Everybody that wins a seat is going to have access to this group, and in that group you're going to have access to me and a couple other team pros where you can ask questions, get advice, get some training, anything that you might want to know going into the PSPC. It's just a little bit of an added bonus. Because my ultimate goal is to turn one of these guys that wins on my tour into the next poker boom millionaire. Let's create a poker star out of him.
Yeah, the next Moneymaker. Hopefully he has just as catchy of a name.
There's no other Moneymaker. My mom told me they broke the mold when they made me.
I was reading your Wikipedia that your name actually isn't Moneymaker. It was Nurmacher. And they changed it?
It was German, yeah. This is the story I heard. It was Nurmacher in German, and then they made silver and gold coins, and when they moved over...
They were literal moneymakers.
Yeah, literal, supposedly you're, kind of named after your profession back then. Mm-hmm. So when they moved over to England, they changed it to Moneymaker. Yeah. It's sort of the the story I've been told. But of course, hell, I thought it was a $39 buy-in, so who knows?
Yeah, so those of you listening can take a look out for that. I mean, for $86, and you get, I mean, you can call it the Moneymaker Overlay Tour as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the thing is, one thing you're going to have to, when you go out to the Moneymaker PSPC Tour, there's going to be a few things that you need to consider. One, every stop that we go to is going to be packed. So you want to register early. You want to get there early and register as quick as you can. As soon as casinos open up the opportunity to register, I would definitely jump on that opportunity because there's going to be a lot of places that are going to have alternates. These are going to be really big prize pools that are going to be a lot of fun with that 30K package added into it. So just be aware going in that you're walking into a zoo that's going to be a really good atmosphere. So not only is it going to be all this value added, it's going to be a really fun tournament with a really good atmosphere. And that's what we're really excited about. And, if you want to find out more information on the tour, you can go to the PokerStars blog and see where we're going to be. Basically, almost every single weekend, we're going to have a stop between August and November. So if you miss a stop, then just look on the blog and you'll see, we got them coming up all across the U.S.
For $86, you'd be a fool not to at least take a couple shots there.
I'm going to take a lot of shots because I think I'm going to every single one.
So, of the stops that are currently on tour, what are you looking on the Moneymaker Tour? What are you looking most forward to?
So, again, we're going to be going all across the U.S. We've got a lot of stops planned. But, for example, we're going to start August 4th and 5th. We're going to be in Stones out in Sacramento. And then, again, check the blog to find out exactly where we're going to be when. But we're going to be at Talking Stick in Arizona. We're going to be at WinStar out in Oklahoma. We're going to be at the Gardens Casino. We're going to be up at Foxwoods, MGM National Harbor.
Literally
Chances.
coast to coast.
Yeah, literally coast to coast. We're going to hit everywhere in between, too. I mean, like I said, we're hitting middle America. And then, even all this, we're going to have PokerStars NJ on there, an online stop. We're at Maryland Live. I mean, so literally everywhere that you can possibly think of, we're trying to hit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, as we get into this tour, we're going to announce some more future stops that are going to be, exciting as well. So I'm just thrilled that, PokerStars has decided to do this. I mean, we're giving away, $300K plus in value in this thing to get people down the Bahamas and, give them shots at.
You can't beat it.
No, you really can't. There's been nothing like this in poker ever to where someone has given away, just literally giving it away. I mean, you have to win the tournament, but it's just added value.
Yeah. Normally in this podcast we go into the history, how somebody got into poker. Everyone kind of knows your story, so we don't really, need to rehash that. But I'm wondering what's your relationship like with the World Series of Poker these days?
As far as, when I come out here?
Yeah,
I mean, what people don't really understand, a lot of people don't know about me is, and this is where I probably need to do more content creation and, just let people know a little bit more about what I do. I travel pretty much, I don't want to say nonstop, but a lot during the spring and the fall for PokerStars, doing a lot of their tours and a lot of stuff for them. And the kids are out of school during the summertime. And just so happens the WSOP is scheduled smack dab in the summer. But the WSOP basically starts about the same time my kids get out of school. I have 3 kids at home. I like being a father, so for me to get on a plane and fly to Vegas and play the World Series of Poker every year would be nonsensical to me. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense when I'm on the road so much playing poker throughout the year. So I generally don't play much of the World Series of Poker. I mean, I average about 2 to 3 events per year. I'll play the main event and like 2 or 3 other events, and that's all I ever do. So people are always constantly, how's Vegas going? How's your summer been? My response is always, my summer's been great. I haven't bricked any tournaments yet, and it's I've been at the pool all day, or I've been hanging out with the kids. I'm much more a family guy during the summertime. It's really, we go to the pool and we hang out and we do family things, which is it's nice. And I don't have to, get on Twitter and complain about bad beats for a month.
Well, it's funny, when you won the main event back in 2003, it was in May at the time, right?
It was, it was earlier.
And your daughter hadn't been born yet.
Correct.
No family. So what was life like back then compared to now?
Well, I was drinking a lot more. I was married to someone else. Everything was different. I mean, it's funny because, when you win the main event, especially when I was 27 years old, I said, I went back to work Monday morning. I said, nothing in my life is going to change. Everything's going to stay the same. Mm-hmm. And as much as you kind of want that to happen, you don't. I mean, in a lot of ways, you don't have. You as much as control you have over it, you really don't. I mean, there are forces that sort of pull you, and things that sort of drive you to make your decisions. And one of the decisions I wanted to make was after 8 months of going back to work and seeing poker starting to take off and starting to have these opportunities to go out and be in the poker world and make more money than I was making at my 9-to-5 job. Eventually, the temptation / desire to go and play more poker eventually won over, and I ended up quitting my job, and which led to divorce and basically a brand new life.
What was it more, the new money, or was it just the hours spent on the road, the lifestyle?
It was 100% the travel and the lifestyle. I mean, I was a traveling accountant long before I won the World Series, and my ex hated the travel. She wanted a 9-to-5, be home every night type husband, I guess. And so I ended up leaving my traveling gig to be a 9-to-5 stay-at-home guy, and then I go and win the main event, and all of a sudden now I want to travel and play poker, and that's not really what she signed up for. And I respect her decision. We just didn't. We were high school sweethearts, but we had broken up and gotten back together so many times. I mean, it probably wasn't going to work anyways, but that was just the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
So, I'm happier, and I know she's probably happier now, and I've got a new wife that's amazing and 3 great kids, and it's just, life's good.
Yeah, I read Bernard Lee's piece on you on ESPN, which was very well done. He talked a little bit about some of the darker times following the win. I'm wondering if there was ever a moment where you wish Ivey had taken you out instead of...
Fuck no.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't wish Ivey had taken me out. No.
There was never a moment where you're just like, man, I just wish I could have won the money but stayed anonymous and been under the radar.
If I would have won the money and stayed anonymous, I wouldn't be doing this podcast here with you today. I wouldn't be playing the World Series of Poker 15 years later. I appreciate all my fans. I appreciate taking the pictures and being sort of in the know as far as in poker. People know who I am, and I respect it and appreciate it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, I tell people all the time, I think I have the perfect amount of fame. If I want to be, not recognized or not doing the pictures and stuff, I just go and stay at home and do my normal thing. And every once in a while,
home being Tennessee, or you mean in the house?
No, home being Tennessee, Mississippi area. I'm fortunate enough that I have a face that's not recognizable as far as, people see me, and the common response is, I know you from somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, I know you. Did you play tennis in whatever college they played, or golf or whatever? They can't really put where they know me from.
That's funny.
They recognize me, they just don't know from where. Where I think, like, if you're Helmuth or Negreanu or a football player or basketball player, I mean that if I'm a 6'5" or 6'10" basketball player, I'm going to stick out when I walk in the room.
Yeah.
I can walk into a room and if I'm walking into like a restaurant, no one's going to even look up because I just look like I belong.
That's part of the appeal. You're the everyman.
That is part of the appeal, but it also is part of the good thing as far as if I do want to be incognito / low key. I can't tell you how many times back in the day where I would be sitting in a restaurant and not a soul would come up to me. It would be just me and my wife and kids, or me and a buddy, and we'd be sitting there and we'd be eating, and we would sit almost eat the entire meal, and then I would either pay the check or one person would recognize me, and then I'd get probably 20-30 people coming over for pictures and autographs. But
once one does it, it starts the floodgates.
Because then the people are like, well, who's that? Now I want a picture. And so But yeah, I could sit there the entire day, from me to you, and people won't recognize it. It's weird because I've got a lot of doppelgangers out there. I mean, I've had probably 10 people come up to me in the last 2 years wanting pictures that look like me, saying, yeah, I get mistaken for you all the time.
That's crazy.
So, obviously my response is, I know you're a good-looking guy, but come on. And so that's, I've pretty much got that standard pat down.
What's funny is I was standing with Gary Gates, who works for PokerStars. We were waiting for you, and there was a guy walking up, and he goes, oh, there's Chris. Oh, never mind, that's not him. So it just happened like an hour ago. We were like finding your doppelgangers in the hallway.
It's weird. That's what Joe Stapes does a series where he goes, "Is that your last name?" And he'll go and he'll find people in professions that have funny last names. Mm-hmm. And I think another funny series would be walking around and found Chris Moneymaker Doppelgangers to see how many. I remember, I want to say 12 years ago, that there was one guy out there that was so good that he literally threw my mom off. My mom,
really?
Yeah, my mom didn't recognize him, and he ended up using my name. He got busted for prostitution or something.
Impersonating you?
It
was a crime. Okay.
Yeah, he got arrested.
He was making charity appearances with your name or something.
No. He got arrested and out here in Nevada,
mm-hmm.
and so I got a call from the police office. This is 14 years ago, right after I won, and we busted a guy, and he's saying he's Chris Moneymaker, and he looks like you, but he doesn't have your ID, and we're trying to figure out what's going on, and we got your number. I'm like, well, I'm in Tennessee, I'm not in Nevada, so that's obviously not me, but that's kind of weird. But yeah, there was a guy that he got busted. I mean, I think he was actually trying to borrow money as me back in the day too, which
man, fake Chris Moneymaker. Doesn't he know prostitution is legal here? All he had to do was drive 45 minutes away. Yeah,
I don't know what he did, but supposedly he got busted for something. And when I was getting the phone call from the police, all the way in Nevada, asking if I was there, I'm like, man, I don't know who that is. I've never met the guy before.
You mentioned that you don't play a ton of events every summer, but you are probably the most accessible main event champion since the U boom.
The me boom.
You take pride in playing with pretty much everyone, right?
I do. I mean, every year I play the daily deep stacks at least 2 or 3 times. I mean, first of all, it's a great value tournament. Second of all, I enjoy playing with people that when I sit down, their eyes sort of light up and they're like, this is a cool experience. I'll never forget. Right before I won, the year that I won, Helmuth had won his whatever bracelet, 9th, 10th, 11th, I don't even know. But I was just the poker fan at that point, and I knew literally 3 players. I knew Phil Helmuth, Johnny Chan, and Doyle Brunson. Those are the only 3 players I knew by name.
Those are the top 3 bracelet winners, so.
But back in 03, I knew Chan because of Rounders, I knew Doyle because of Super System, and I knew Helmuth. I don't even know how I knew Helmuth, to be honest, other than
he made sure you knew him.
I guess he did. No, he got his head shaved when Varconi won the year before, and I watched the World Series the year before when Varconi won.
That's right. Phil said, "There's no way this guy's going to win. If he wins, I'll shave my head." And
Helmuth kind of stole his thunder when he won by getting on stage and shaving his head. And I remember thinking, look at this clown shaving his head on TV for no reason. Anyway, so those are the only 3 names I knew, and they came down at the Binions at the time, and they gave Helmuth his bracelet like they do here. At the Rio, they have a bracelet ceremony, except it's a lot more impromptu. They just basically walk down. It's like, hey, this is your winner, and everybody claps.
There's no set time. It's just whenever it happens.
It's just it's and there's no microphone. It's just him coming down. Hey, this is your winner.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah, he won. So when he won, I walked over to him and said congratulations, and it's really cool. You're one of the 3 guys I know. Yada yada. And he literally, he spent about 15 minutes talking to me. I was obviously a nobody. I was just out for the World Series for the first time. But I remember, he took 15 minutes out of his day to, talk to a fan, which was really, it kind of stuck with me and was really cool. And, to give other people that opportunity to, hang out with me and ask me questions and just, try to, battle poker against me. I know that, as the younger me, I would love to have sat down with and played against Phil Hellmuth. I'll never forget also back when I was playing in Tunica and Jack Keller, who won the World Series in it was like '84.
Sounds about right.
He always played in the big PLO game down in Tunica. Well, the PLO game wasn't running, and we played a 5-10 limit game is the game that I played in back then. And he sat down in that game, and I just thought it was really freaking cool to play against a champion.
Yeah.
So, those are the first couple experiences I had with champions. So I remember what it felt like for me. Obviously, today poker's a lot more out there in the public, and champions are a little bit more noticeable, and they're sort of everywhere. Back in the day, I mean, you say you play with a poker world champion. It was so rare because most of the guys you never saw Doyle, you never saw.
Yeah, they were busy playing cash games.
Or there wasn't enough social media, there wasn't enough going on. And tournaments weren't like they are now, where they're just everywhere. And you'll have a random main event winner pop up in every city, playing WPTs or WSOPs or whatever. I mean, so it was a little bit different back then, but it still stuck with me. The fact that, playing with those guys and the feeling that it was, and trying to see if I had what it took to, to battle against them. So I love giving that opportunity to other people. I love to, sit there and play these smaller events. Obviously the bigger events are fun as well, but for different reasons. Usually you play the smaller events, it's more drinking and more having a good time and less headphones, and I'm going to play GTO. No.
You were kind of downplaying, your role in the whole poker boom, or at least, your active role in it. When you think of some stuff like the WPT hole card camera, or the movie Rounders, or just, the fact that an accountant from Tennessee won the main event, where do you see your role in the birth of poker, or the boom of poker? Just so you know, I don't know if you saw this, a couple days ago, I deleted the story. There was an article out there that used your name to describe what is currently happening with esports. They said Fortnite is the Moneymaker Effect for esports.
That's cool, because I play Fortnite.
There you go.
No, it's weird because my name is synonymous with the poker boom because it's my name. I mean, again, I think if my name was John Smith and I was...
There's a literal John Smith who plays poker.
There's a lot of John Smiths. I'm just saying.
He's good. He's done well in the 10K, the heads up 10K.
I know. Sorry, if my name is Jeff Smith.
I'm just saying, you picked an actual player. That's pretty funny.
I picked the most random, common name I could possibly think of. If my name was Patrick O'Houlihan or whatever from Dodgeball, I don't know if we would have a Houlihan effect or Smith effect. I mean... my name goes a long way into sticking with people and to being sort of a memory. Like I got in the Uber coming over here to meet you, and the guy immediately was like, "You have a nickname, right?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm going to the Rio to the poker area." He's like, "You have a nickname, right?" I'm like, I know what he's talking about. I was like, what do you mean nickname? He's like, yeah, you have a poker nickname. I'm like, my last name's Moneymaker. He's like, no. So, I mean, it's funny, even 15 years later, people, think it's my nickname.
They think it's your nickname.
Yeah, they think that I'm Chris the Moneymaker is what a lot of people refer to me as. So
Chris the Moneymaker Nurmacher.
You're a dork. You have too much fun doing this. You have too much dead time.
Yeah, I have to make it fun. That's part of this.
No, it's good. That's good. So, I mean, obviously my name was a big proponent. And, because I tell people all the time, Varconi won the year before I did. And he's, I don't want to say the catalyst for me, but I watched him play. And then I watched Rounders, and I started playing, and yada, yada. The biggest thing I see the difference between myself and Varconi. Varconi was an amateur, and he was so much an amateur that Hellmuth again said he would shave his head if he won. Yeah. The difference is Varconi was a very smart guy. He was an MIT guy. He was when you saw him, you could see that he was
brainy.
Yeah. Yes, and he didn't relate to enough people. Because he was intelligent. And
you don't take offense to this comparison?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm the one that makes the damn comparison. So, listen, I know I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I don't have an ego. I'm very real with myself.
You went to college. You were an accountant. It's not like you were blue collar.
I mean, I'm not an idiot, but I've got a master's degree and I'm successful, and I'm pretty proud that I keep up with the day's news, even though I'm a poker player, which can be difficult at times. I know what's going on in the world. Yeah, I know what's going on in the world outside of poker. I try to be a well-rounded individual as best I can. But at the end of the day, when I go into business meetings, which is kind of what I want, is I want to be the dumbest guy in the room. I mean, I want to be working with people that are smarter than me. I don't want to be the guy that knows what's going. I'm doing some things right now, and I was having a meeting about we're doing some stuff in the marijuana business, and it's obviously one of the big booming industries right now, and we're having a meeting about it, and they're all talking this stuff, and I'm over there, in the corner like, duh, and but I'm thinking to myself, this is good. I don't want to be if I'm the most knowledgeable guy in this space. That since first of all, I've never smoked marijuana in my life, other than a couple of times experimenting in college. But I was never a big smoker. I mean, someone could hand me a bag of oregano, and I couldn't tell you really much different between anything. So when it comes to that, I really am the dumbest guy in the room. I'm learning a lot, but yeah, I'm still the dumbest guy there. But I kind of relate to a lot of people in that way, that I don't come across as the brainy type. I come across as the dumb country redneck.
What has everyone latched onto that and said, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
Exactly. And that's, if he can do it, I can do it. And also they just see that, I have doppelgangers. I have people that, people see that, they could go have a beer with me and hang out and we can have some fun. And there's a lot of different ways people view me, and the fact that if I can do it, they can do it. And that's, again, why you have the Moneymaker boom, I guess. Obviously, NHL lockout and all the other things that were going on at that time helped facilitate it. But if Sam Farha would have won, you're going to have a poker boom. Because I think you're going to have a poker boom anyways. It may not be to the magnitude that it was. But if, Farha beats me or Ivey knocks me out in 10th, I don't know if it's to the magnitude. We might still have online poker that's never got shut down.
Yeah, maybe it'd be Friday, big, but not big enough to actually get hurt.
Yeah, Black Friday may not ever might not have ever happened. So I could have caused that. I don't know.
Well, that's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, it's all butterfly effect. You just never know.
I'm wondering, what's the thing that really bugs you that people think about you? The biggest misconceptions people have. Is there anything that bothers you when people say?
First of all, nothing really bothers me. I am fortunate enough to have a great family, great friends, and I'm again, I don't have any ego. So when people think that I suck, I actually take pride in that and kind of giggle, because I know I work on my game and I know how good I am. I mean, I know I'm not the best in the world. I mean, I'm a realist, but I'm also better than the majority of people. And I know that when I sit down and play, I have a better chance than most. But that's just, pride in myself and having confidence.
So when people say, oh, he just got lucky in a tournament, it doesn't bother you? Or
Well, I did. I mean, let's be real. I especially in 03, I was an amateur player. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, I look back at some of the hands I played and how I played the hands, and I never would have played the hands that way now. And I've learned a lot over the last, if I played the same way now as I did then, I probably wouldn't be in poker anymore, first of all. And second of all, poker's changed so much. I mean, it's not just me that's evolved, it's poker itself. I mean, poker players weren't very good back then. So that's why I was able to do what I was able to do. Is I did get lucky and I did wake up in the right spot. But it's so much harder in today's game to wake up and get lucky. You have to be. I mean, today's game, you have to be a lot more skillful to get deep runs. I mean, obviously deep runs happen. Even you can wait and get good cards and get things happen. But on average, the better players are going to make deeper runs in today's game, just because they take lower variance lines.
How's sports betting going these days? You still putting down some sports bets?
Fuck you. No. No.
I'm just wondering because things are about to open up here in the States.
Mississippi goes live next month. I'm really excited about it because I do a lot of work with BetStars. It's a division of PokerStars, and so every week I get on and do a little segment to where I pick 3 or 4 games and give analysis and who's going to win. And like last season, I was on a really big roll. I hit like 7 or 8 weeks in a row, and
Mostly football, or
it's all NFL. It's
NFL,
all,
okay.
But this is back when last year when there was no betting on in the United States yet. It was all they're doing a lot of soccer and a lot of international stuff. So their only big U.S. market was the NFL. I'm hoping that now that as we get legislation and we get the ability to sports bet in the U.S., BetStars is going to start spreading throughout the United States, and I'll be doing college football analysis and NBA analysis and all that kind of stuff. Because honestly, I really do enjoy that stuff. It is fun. I'm a sportsaholic, so I love watching sports. And, if I'm able to work with BetStars on the side and do analysis and stuff, I had to go every single Tuesday morning. Like every Tuesday morning, I would go and analyze the games for the coming up week, which I got a kick out of doing, and then go and find a studio to do a recording. And I thought it was a blast. It was something I look forward to every Tuesday morning.
That's gotta be great. Do you place any bets on your volunteers?
Man, now you're getting into sore subjects.
Well, how often do you make it out to Neyland these days? You been in a while?
Honestly, I haven't been to Neyland in, I want to say 10 years.
Too busy on the road.
Well, it's that, and then let's put it this way. I've been to a Mississippi game more than I've been to a Tennessee game in the last 10 years, and we live an hour from Ole Miss, and my kids, they're going to probably grow up Ole Miss fans more than Tennessee fans, even though
Running Rebel.
They know that their dad's a Tennessee fan. I'm always going to be a Tennessee fan, but it's 7 hours or 6 hours for me to get to Neyland Stadium, and since my daughter, who's 13, has been alive, we have not been a very good football team, so it's really hard.
Phil Fulmer who, Daddy?
Exactly. Peyton Manning who? Yeah. I went to I was in school with Peyton Manning. He lived above me in an apartment complex. So
really?
Yeah, it was. I was back there during that time, and I told my dad I'm not going to graduate college till we win a national title. And when Peyton graduated, I thought I was going to be in college forever. And then all of a sudden, T. Martin comes along, and I have to graduate.
There you go.
So then I decided, I'm going to go to grad school. But anyways, I graduated the year that we won. Then decided to go to grad school. But yeah, we were great back then. I went to every game. Even when I met my wife back in 03, 04 time frame, she knew every Saturday when Tennessee played football that there's going to be a 3-hour window that.
Yeah, don't talk to Chris.
Don't talk to Chris. And that changed a little bit as we had kids and DVRs became a little bit more prevalent. You could record the games. And then it became no one call Chris because he's recorded the game and is going to watch it later. So he doesn't want to know anything about anything. Don't communicate with him. We can go to the soccer field, we can do whatever we need to do, but we're not talking football. And if I hear football on the field, I'm like la 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 la, running to now. Fast forward now, and I probably can't even tell you when Tennessee plays because it's just so hard to watch. And as much as I'm a Tennessee fan, when you know that we're not going to be competing for titles, we're not going to be. We're trying to compete with Vanderbilt to stay out of the bottom of the SEC. I'm much more inclined to watch a Alabama Notre Dame game or a Oklahoma Florida State game. The top teams play, and it's not because I'm fans of that team. I just like watching good football. I like watching the teams that are competing, and it's really just disheartening watching my Vols.
Well, maybe if you can get a little money on them, maybe it'll bring it back.
The sad thing is, I think I've put more money against them than for them.
Well, then you should be a winner.
Yeah, theoretically I should, but.
The rake will get you every time.
It is tough to beat the rake. More rake is better sometimes, though. There's a sign out there that says that even.
Yeah, greeting everyone who comes into this place.
I know, it's kind of funny.
Rapid fire question time.
Shoot.
When you're listening to headphones at the table, what are you listening to?
Rap or meditation.
Rap or meditation. Okay. Let's start with
or Rocky. There's 3.
Or Rocky, like the Rocky theme song?
Yeah, like the Rocky.
Whole soundtrack.
The soundtrack, yeah.
Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger, yeah. Though I don't even know. Other than that, or I don't even know the other names of the song. But yeah,
he's running in the snow.
Yeah, the Russian song. You know.
Yeah. He's got the big wooden beam on his back. Ivan Drago's on the treadmill. It's going up real high.
Yeah, I just lost a big pot, so we're gonna get to Rocky and.
Yeah,
you know.
I like it. Okay, rap. What are your people? Who are your old school rap?
Old school rap, yeah. Tupac, Biggie.
Both sides of the conflict.
Yeah. I listen to both sides. My wife's from Memphis, and she was always big into rap, so we listened to 80s rap all the time, 90s rap all the time. The kids are like, what are y'all listening to? Stop it. So now my...
Come on, bust some rhymes for me.
I can't do it.
We're recording. Give us a second.
You're talking about rap. You're looking at a famous rapper.
Thank you very much, sir, but we are recording.
And drops to the Z.
All right, well, Drops to the Z wants to let it be known that he's here.
He's just going to drop one for Chris Moneymaker here.
Please don't.
He's
Please
got the
don't.
goods that don't even understood all the haters want to be and you think you could, but you can't.
This is gonna make the outtakes.
Then you be screaming like the kid at home alone. You be crying like a baby in the crib.
Is this the type of rap you normally listen to?
So you can get some learning, maybe wise up to the millions he be earning. You be burning with jealousy and hate. You can't stand to see a brother God made so great. He's got talents, but he's also got looks. The triple threat facts, he's got the hooks. You remember.
He's smart.
Forget every word out of my mouth gonna awaken you. Girl, so he forgets you the thing of the past. Chris Moneymaker, he be the new ever last. You in the ring, but you flat on the floor. Another victim of his first round knocking for sure. That's all she wrote for a hater like yourself. But what you get for wanting to be in someone else. Chris Moneymaker.
What'd you say? It was Drops to the Z?
Yes, at Drops 11.
At Drops 11. You know what? I'm gonna give you a shout out just because you ended up being pretty good, Drops to the Z.
That's right. I got over 250,000 followers, baby.
All right, appreciate it. Back to the podcast. See, that's the kind of
my favorite part of that was the looks too. That was my favorite part.
He
of
did throw in a couple compliments. It's hard not to like that.
It was definitely that I picked up on the compliments. Anyways, so yeah, I listened to a bunch of stuff. My older kids are definitely now, hey, this is all right, and they do a lot of the.
Oh, it took that long, huh?
It did take a little while, but they're a little bit more new school. They do the. Whip It and Nay Nay and all, they do all these songs. They put on performances all the time. My kids are very musically inclined, and they love to put on different performances. They've done the Greatest Showman. They do a lot of those songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do.
The Bearded Lady sings.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, they come out and they're doing the lights on and off in the house and the microphone. Oh yeah, they all 3 kids are in on it, and they each have their parts and. So, I listen, and, as
you might be attending a lot of plays in the future.
We do a lot of stuff. My kids don't know it. They're going to Taylor Swift in August, so they're excited about that.
Wow.
They'll be going, we were going to go to Justin Timberlake, but they're a little bit young for that still. He's a little bit more older crowd, I guess.
Yeah. Mine is 4, she's about to turn 5, and I'm debating whether or not I should take her to Gwen Stefani here in town.
I think you'll be all right. Maybe old Gwen Stefani, no, but new Gwen Stefani, I think you'll be all right.
I don't know. It'll be close. We'll see.
Yeah. So, does she play poker or Fortnite or anything? Or
no, she's 4. She colors, and that's it. She doesn't.
6-year-old plays Fortnite like a beast.
We don't even have video games in the house. I stopped playing video games when Portal 2 came out.
I stopped playing video game. It pained me because my wife is like, "You're an adult. You don't need to be playing video games." So we threw out my PlayStation 3 my play. Or
that was the last one I had, PS3.
Yeah, and now that my son is, my daughter's never played the video games, but my son is all about them. So we have the Switch, we have the Wii U, we've got the Xbox, and we've got the system.
Yeah.
And he likes the games I like. He likes Madden, and he likes the sports games.
That's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm. So now I get
to
play all the
games. Those have infinite replay value. So.
Exactly. He's Tom Brady or he's LeBron James, and or he in Fortnite I have to give him all the guns. We play Fortnite a lot together, and I have to give him all the guns. It's like, Dad, you're no good. I'm like, well, son, I give you every yellow gun, which are the good guns. I give you every good gun that comes out we find as a duo. He's like, oh, I like that one, Dad. I'm like, here you go. Give me the gray one.
Next rapid fire question: favorite tournament destination?
PCA, Bahamas.
You just like the being in the Bahamas in January, or?
Of course. Well, I just like being in the Bahamas, period. I mean, it's probably the one stop throughout the year that when you bust a tournament, you're not just like, okay, let's go find another tournament, because there's so much else to do.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you have your family down there, it's just a fun time to bring the kids and go down the slides and do all that fun stuff. So there's just something about that resort that's unique.
Yeah, Caribbean Disney World.
It is. People say, Vegas is the adult Disney World, which it kind of is. Well, Bahamas is a family destination. If you're by yourself, there's still plenty enough to do, inside and outside of poker down the Bahamas. So for the diversity that it provides, that's why it's my favorite stop.
And you can win your way there on the Chris Moneymaker Tour. Just $86.
All right, I'll have to pay your fee for that one. Good job.
Biggest pot you've ever won or lost? Your choice.
Biggest pot I ever won was against Ben Affleck a long time ago. I had a flush and he had 3 4s, and it was, I don't want to say the number. It was a big size pot, and it was pretty cool because it was against a famous actor. So,
can you tell me where this happened?
Yeah, it was at the Palms.
Okay, so this wasn't like a private Hollywood home game you got invited to.
No, and I've played in those, but no, this was actually at the Palms, and it was a fun night because this is back when the Palms had their room. For people that don't remember the old days, the Palms had a small little bitty room.
Like 4 or 5 tables.
Yeah, 4 or 5 tables, but they had one section was like the small table, and one section was the big table, and we played on the back table and the big. And then in that game there was Tobey Maguire, Ben Affleck, Vince Van Patten, and myself.
Was Johnny Drama in that game? I remember he was hanging around with Tobey Maguire back in the day. Kevin Dillon, I think his name is.
Yeah, I think he was around. I don't know if he was in the game, but and he might have been in the game. There were 2 actors that I didn't really know who they were, so definitely could have been one of them. Not to like discredit them or anything. I just, obviously, I knew the A-listers a little bit better, the bigger names. But yeah, it was a weird night because we were sitting there and we were just playing 5-10 no limit, and all of a sudden, Ben Affleck and all these guys walk in, and
That's
all of a sudden
crazy.
it's like, all right, we're gonna step this up to 5,100, and
wow,
we're gonna play poker. So it was a weird, fun night.
This is a big pot.
Yeah, it was a big pot.
Enough for Ben to care.
I broke the game.
Wow.
It was 4 a.m. Ben moved all in on the river, and I ended up calling him, and he said, all right, that's enough. It was 4 a.m. though. And he had just
tapped the table and he said, Mr. Moneymaker, I'm going to have to let you go.
Well, he was eating a bag of McDonald's that someone had brought him from out, and he had finished the bag of McDonald's, and he's like, all right, I'm going to bed.
He's like, all right, I got a big back tattoo I got to get.
I think he was with J-Lo at the time, so I think he might have been like being pulled back or whatever.
We end the podcast the same way every time, with a question from the random question generator. You ready for this?
Probably not, but let's go for it.
This is a good one. In 40 years, what will people be nostalgic for?
Cell phones.
Really? Mm-hmm. Think they'll be gone?
I think they'll be gone.
What do we have instead? Like,
we'll have earpieces or some kind of like device where we just say something and Shield will drop. We'll be able to speak in like Alexa and it'll hear you, and you just be able to talk. So I don't. We've gone from these cell phones that I remember when my dad had his first cell phone, there was a bag and it was, huge.
Carrying case.
Yeah, to where now, we had beepers and we had all this stuff.
Oh, you're talking about that Zach Morris cell phone?
Yeah.
From, like Saved by the Bell, the one he used to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Big rubber antenna.
Mm-hmm. Now we've got these, these things are getting smaller and smaller to a point where, now we have watches and we have, I think, 40 years from now, we're not going to have anything that you're going to need to carry.
And you think it'll be like a retro thing that people are going to get nostalgic for? Like, there'll be people walking around with cell phones the same way people walk around with Walkmans today?
Yeah, probably. And,
listening to cassettes?
Yeah, what's an 8-track tape? Or, again, DVDs will probably be gone. It's all going to be digital media. I mean,
yeah.
Another thing, TVs. I mean, I don't think we'll have TVs anymore.
Really?
I mean, everything's going digital anyways. And, all the streaming services and everything that we have going on now, everything's going to, computers. So I think you'll end up putting computers on your wall, or you'll have...
Or everything will just be projection from a tiny box somewhere.
Exactly,
or something,
yeah. You're not going to have your paying $60 to rent your Genie from DirecTV and, dealing with, everybody's cutting the cord and all this
You're
stuff.
still paying TiVo, Chris? You still got your membership?
No, I've got DirecTV, and I'm thinking about cutting the cord. Now I look at my bill, and I'm paying $60 a month for to have the boxes, and I can, we've got Netflix and Hulu and all these other things, and I'm like, well, hell, we don't watch enough TV that, I'm sure that
we cut the cord when we realized that we just weren't seeing things on time anyway.
Yeah,
we didn't watch anything live, so we were just like, what's the point?
The funny thing is I was going to cut the cord, and then the World Cup came on, and that's the only thing I watched live.
Yeah, sports will get you.
Yes, but then I know with like Sling you can do college football and a lot of the.
You better have a great internet connection.
That's our problem. Is we live out in the middle of nowhere, and we have internet or satellite internet.
Oh wow!
Which is bad, but like from what it was, like my in-laws had DirecTV internet a long time ago, and it was the worst.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's gotten better, for sure.
Honestly, in my house...
It's not Google Fiber.
Yeah. When you're in my house, everything... We can play Fortnite, we can watch Netflix, we can do things, but like once you start getting multiple things going on, it starts to slow a touch, and you can start seeing a little bit of difference, but they just came out with a faster speed, so when I get home, I'm excited to get the faster speed put in the house, so we'll see how that goes.
Is that how rural your house is? Are you, like, away from civilization?
Yeah, we are. We have to plan to go to the city, or the store. We used to live in the city, and honestly, I'd be playing with my kids in the driveway, and people would be coming up for autographs.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like... and everybody knew where we lived. I mean, we were in the port of Memphis that it was the main hub, and like our house was like we were one of the central people that the people that owned FedEx were around the corner from us. People that owned AutoZone were across the street from us. Mm-hmm. Like we were like in the known area. So we just didn't like. I didn't like the fact that me being on the road all the time with my wife and 3 young kids. I mean, we had private security that would watch the house, but still, it just wasn't the best environment. So we ended up moving out into the middle of nowhere where we can leave the door.
You're not the first poker player to do that. I talked to Mike Leo, who did the same thing in Canada. He's got a place out there on a lake and pretty quiet.
Well, that's the good thing about poker is I don't have to commute to work. I mean, the biggest thing we found was a good school district. We were, I was paying private school for 2 going on 3 kids, and private school today is more expensive than college, so we actually went and found a public school that is really good, especially for my oldest daughter. So we're really happy with where we are. We're in a good school district. We're close enough to civilization where we can get to the store in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But we're also far enough away that we can leave our door unlocked and
nobody bugs you.
Yeah, we're on a street that if there's a car coming down our street, we either know the car or there's construction going on. There's just no one's just randomly driving up and down our street.
That sounds nice.
We like it. It's actually it's a good change.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
We got it perfectly finished.
That's it. That's the show. Thank you once again to Chris. You can find out more about the Moneymaker PSPC Tour by visiting PokerStarsblog.com. Or just check out Chris on Twitter at @CMoneymaker, and I'm sure there will be plenty of information and links to the schedule there. If you are new to Poker Stories, then thanks for stopping by. Chris isn't the first WSOP main event winner to be on the podcast. We've also had main event winners Tom McAvoy, Greg Raymer, and Joe Cotta on. We've also talked to poker legends like Daniel Negreanu, Mike Sexton, Freddie Deeb, and Barry Greenstein. And we've picked the brains of high roller stars such as Justin Bonomo, Jason Kuhn, Bryn Kenny, David Peters, and Nick Petrangelo. You can find all of those episodes and get a new Poker Stories podcast every 2 weeks by subscribing on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. If you like what you heard, then please leave a rating and a review. Let us know about it with an email to pokerstories@cardplayer.com, and we'll reward your efforts with a free digital subscription to Card Player Magazine. Thanks for listening.